Hello, this is Iron Defense Dale, and we will be going over the week one of the WTDL Draft League. Going over what I thought about each game, going over but then going over my favorite match at the end. I will start with just some notes going in order of what I thought. First off, we can see what my favorite match is, but we will get to that. We will start with just going through each of them in order and then ending with mine, and then we'll go back and watch my favorite set and go over that. Um, so the first match, other than mine and Nerdy's, was Score versus JKG, Blackpool Roses versus Toronto Typhlosions. I thought that the Toronto Typhlosions were like JKG is a great team. Score was excellent, aggressiveness when he needed to be. It was truly like a battle against two um great competitors. JKG won the last league, won season 3. This is this is season 4 now, so it's new team has to show that he can do it again. And Score came out swinging. Score's team looks a lot better than what I thought it would be. A lot nastier because it can run Trick Room and Tailwind pretty easily without changing too much of like what the Pokemon are. It can have both looks on both teams, or on one team. Both looks on one team. Really simple. Even Galarian Articuno can run Trick Room and Tailwind. It's a really excellent situation. And that's scary. I think that's scarier than what I thought it would be. Um, Next up was Fiasco, the Detroit Luxrays versus Joden's Tampa Bay Torteras. And to be completely honest, Fiasco absolutely had a definitive win, 2 games to 0. 1 and 2 games. Um, it was super definitive. The rain really dominated. Being able to switch from a from the sun, which entered, to rain, and Torkoal had no way other than switching on, switching back in to access sun again. Needed that sun for multiple Pokemon. Didn't have it. It was real rough. For that Torkoal, real rough for everything on that team, not having sun at critical moments. So it felt like a definitive win for Fiasco. Um, Next up was Karth's Galaxy Fighters versus Oesh's Hunters Haunters. This was a match of all time. I wasn't thrilled with either team. Karth sneaked out a game 1 win. And I say sneaked out because it was truly a sneak. Getting a revive with Rabska and then still barely winning. That is rough. Very, very low damage output from Karth. That's not a good sign. There's got to be some sort of way, either resolving it with trades, resolving it in some capacity where the damage output stays there, and you can punch someone in the mouth. It needs to be there. Some sort of definitive big damage. Basculegion didn't even show up, which I was really confused by because Basculegion is that Pokemon. It is the punch you in the mouth Pokemon, and it wasn't there. Oesh honestly should have been maybe a little bit more aggressive game 1, and definitely was in game 3. Game 2 still trying to figure out how much aggressiveness was needed, but because the damage output was so low, the aggressiveness needed to be there. It was necessary to get the win, and I hope that Oesh can continue to do that. Next up was Cross the Denver Jigglypuffs versus 616's Wicked or not Wicked Warriors. Oh my God, 616's shoot WW 616. I'm forgetting the name. Shoot, I don't care. We'll figure it out. So Cross looked like had control with game one, just definitive control. Game two, the reads with Terra in game two were so important. Tearing that Scizor to fire to avoid the the potential Flare Blitz, to avoid the Will-O-Wisp was big. It allowed Dragonite to get an attack off for free, and I feel like that was a little bit of 616 maybe being a little timid. 616 maybe being a little timid and not just punching stuff, chipping them down. A lot of Will-O-Wisp usage when it probably didn't need to be used. Obviously, Will-O-Wisping the Dragonite should have been a priority. The Scizor was important, but I don't think it was as important as mitigating what the Dragonite could do. Um, that being said, Cross won 2-0. Very excellent for Cross. Showed why Dragonite Chien-Pao is as good as what it is. It's evil. It's so tough to stop. Um, then we have the Baltimore Bullet Punch versus the Raging Roars, Ada versus JBX. That was the last game. JBX had great protect reads in both games, knowing when to protect and knowing when Ada was going to protect with what. Both of them were just it was so good. It made it so every attack counted, and Ada did not have a lot of breathing room and ended up losing. Ada ended up losing, didn't win a game, so 2-0. Tough loss for Ada, but Ada can bounce back. We've seen it. JBX is still the newcomer, so we'll see how it keeps up. I mean, yeah, JBX is the newcomer. We'll see if it keeps up. Let's see, and then my game versus Nerdy. Nerdy, I know you're gonna watch this. Great, great oppressive offense on your team. Disgusting at times. We know how it goes. Sometimes you just over prep. Sometimes you think someone's bringing a thing and they don't even bring it. They don't even bring it. Sometimes not bringing something's just as valuable as what you do bring, and this was an example of it. No Tailwind, no Rain was a little surprising because that was your best. That was your best asset was Tailwind and Rain. Having those, and you didn't bring either. But all I can say about my team is Zapdos popped off. Zapdos absolutely showed it was a great pick. It should have been drafted last season. I wish I did. It's excellent. It is nasty to face. It just gets to be fat and in your face and click buttons. It punishes physical attackers. It's a toughie. It's a toughie is the easiest way to put it. And now we get to the new part. We get to where I get to watch my favorite set. This is a 3-game set. This is Score versus JKG. I'm gonna watch this and give you my thoughts on it. This was my favorite one. So this is game one, and we're gonna see what happens. We're just gonna do play with sound off. Normal speed. Yeah. Okay. So right here, this is a great lead. The Articuno is just excellent in this position. The big Typhlosion will prove to be scary, I think. But we will see. It's attack boosting. Yeah, bye bye. And bye bye again. But that eruption's nasty. Clearly scarfed eruption. That's going to be scary throughout the season for sure. And that eruption is just going to chunk. A crit might have mattered, but yeah, this was a tough one for score right here. Just 3-turn loss. But a lot of that had to do with that scarfed eruption. So um, let's see how this plays out. Next up, we have game 2. All right, a different lead here. Now, still the attack boosting. I keep saying Gardevoir because of that name. The attack boosting Iron Val. Let's see. Play Rough it resists the Play Rough. That's lucky. But that Shadow Sneak was big to chip that eruption down. It was truly massive. And getting that and even with that, getting that second eruption was that did quite a bit. But unfortunately for that Typhlosion, it can't do much. And the Draco Meteor hit was big. And Iron Val is just nasty in general. It's just a really nasty Pokemon to face. It does what it does. It gets to click buttons and doesn't get to take hits because it's fast. So as long as you're moving fast, you can do whatever. The Tailwind was big here. The tailwind was big. Allowed the outspeeding towards the end with the not the Iron Jugulus, with the Hydreigon in towards the end. It was big. That was needed. All right, so game 3. So we're 1-1. The final time for all the beans. You led the same way all 3 times. For JKG, Ivy Cudgel was. I mean, that burn looked like it was going to hurt because this did mess up the Typhlosion, but outspeeding and picking up with the knockoff was huge. And the 1% live was massive. Yeah, literally 1 invisible sash. Very unlucky. Getting the Trick Room up from JKG looks like it's going to be big because you know that's going to be 2 KOs. Got to come in with the other 2. What could possibly be here? Ursaluna. It's perfect match to end the Tailwind and then come in with the Trick Room. It worked out excellently. The Play Rough easily KOs Hariyama. The Rock Slide's not enough to KO the the Ursaluna. It's just too much. Just a nasty team, functions both Trick Room and Tailwind, and can set both, which is just painful. Being able to function in both and set both and have the same look for both. Like, this is why I'm scared of Score, more scared now that I saw it in action. Definitely underrated the team, and now we get to pay the price. I could definitely see Score coming back, going on a tear here. I face Score next week, so we will definitely see how that goes. So yeah, this is what I thought. This was my favorite set, and thank you for listening. It was really good. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.